The Witcher 3 has some amazing cinematic trailers, and in this video I want to talk about the one called Killing Monsters. You will probably remember the trailer, as it's the one where Geralt fights against the few Nilfgaardians to save a woman from being tortured and hanged by these soldiers. But why did Geralt intervene? If you believe the soldiers, the woman in question has committed some serious crimes, as they, besides looting, accuse her of killing wounded soldiers and cannibalizing them.
By order of the Emperor of Nilfgaard, for the murder of the wounded, looting, cannibalism, you are hereby sentenced to death by hanging.
These are some pretty bad crimes, so why did Geralt save that woman? Some might not know that there is a backstory to this trailer. In a comic that goes by the same name, we follow Geralt and Vesemir in the days leading up to these events, in their hunt for the Fiend, whose head they throw on the ground at the start of the trailer, about half a year before the start of The Witcher 3. As Geralt and Vesemir are on their months-long journey to find Yennefer, they travel through no man's land, where they visit an occupied village. Faerûn itself is not something really special, however, it is where Yennefer's trail has led them to. As they enter the village, they meet a boy named Balt the Black, who tells them that their village is called Faerûn, to which Geralt responds by saying your village, as the town is ruled by Nilfgaardian soldiers who behave like thugs. Geralt and Vesemir shortly after each go their own way in the town to search for more information about either Yennefer or about the local contract, as they are in need of coin. Of course, witchers can't really stay out of trouble for long, and a guy decides to attack Geralt. The man of course easily defeated by Geralt after he blasts him with the Aard. As Geralt tries to help the man up and offer him to buy a drink, suddenly a Nilfgaardian sergeant holds Balt, as they try to run off with the coin pouch belonging to the man who fought Geralt. Stopping a stealing child isn't a bad thing to do. However, the sergeant refuses to give this man his coin back. Instead he says it is evidence, and he takes it for himself, whilst he orders the young boy to be hanged by the sergeant. Vesemir shortly after returns with the information of a nearby monster that has killed a number of peasants, a Fiend. The Witchers make a deal with the Nilfgaardians to kill the Fiend for 40 florins, as well as that Geralt demands that they should let Balt, the boy, go. The captain accepts and says that the next time that he catches the boy, the child will die. As Vesemir and Geralt go around the nearby area, it becomes clear that while some deaths are clearly the Fiend's doing, some seem to be killed by swords rather than the beast's antlers and claws. The Witchers follow the tracks into the woods to investigate, where they have a conversation about how war changes people, with a focus on how war brings out the worst in some people, and makes some soldiers even monsters. Geralt seems willing to take down men he sees as monsters and evil, whilst Vesemir tells him that it's not up to them to judge humans. Shortly after this conversation, they stumble upon an abandoned home, where after a quick fight with the Gravier, the Fiend appears as it grabs Vesemir through the wall. A fight ensues, as Geralt and Vesemir faced off against the beast. However, the Fiend manages to grab both of them, ready to kill the two Witchers, until suddenly Balt appears. He throws stones at the Fiend, which, while distracted, lets the Witchers go. They quickly grab Balt and flee with him back to Faerûn. Balt had followed the Witchers as he wanted to see the beast for himself, and, as thanks for saving the two, they gave the boy a meal and offered him a few coins. Balt accepted the food but refused the coin, as he didn't want to take coin for saving a life. Instead, he asked the Witchers if he could have some extra food for his friends, who were also hungry, and the Witchers of course accepted. They talked to the boy about some murders he had witnessed, which at first were blamed on the Fiend, but as the boy now told the truth, he revealed that he could see soldiers killing peasants, while he was looking at the stars from the roof of the inn. An angry Geralt heads towards Dragon, the cold-blooded murderer of a captain, who killed peasants for fun. He was ready to accuse him of his actions and attack him, but Vesemir held him back, for they killed monsters, not men. Instead of fighting him, the Witchers asked his help in fighting the Fiend, which the captain accepted, if the Witchers would halve their price to 20 florins. The next morning, when they were about to set out to fight against the Fiend, there was some gathering outside the village. The group stood around a few bodies, the corpses of 3 children, one of whom was Bald the Black. It was said they were caught sneaking into the Nilfgaardian supply tent for food, which makes no sense as they were given food by the Witchers the day before. It took a lot for Geralt to not right there and then attack the Nilfgaardians, but he had a plan for revenge. As the Witchers went back to the abandoned hut, they were eventually joined by Drugan and a few of his soldiers. Unbeknownst to the Nilfgaardian captain, Geralt had dropped a rare herb in his saddlebags. This herb enrages fiends, and makes them want to take out anything nearby the plant. And right then, the raging fiend came out of the woods, and killed most of the soldiers. As the captain was panicking and fearing for his life, Geralt told him that whilst he thought himself untouchable, a wolf amongst sheep, he forgot that even wolves have predators. The fiend grabbed the captain and bit his head straight off his body. Geralt, Vesemir, and a good soldier named Messi had separated themselves from the rest when the fiend attacked. Messi was surprised that the Witcher had killed the captain by luring the beast towards him, but he could understand their actions as the captain was an awful human being. The Witchers told him that whilst they tried their best to not kill humans, they had no obligation to save someone from a beast when they were attacked. The Witchers faced off against the fiend. They charged at it with signs, casting Aard and Igni at the same time. They fought, and the soldier Messi wanted to help. As he charged the beast, he became hypnotized by the fiend's third eye, and as the fiend was about to kill Messi, Vesemir grabbed him right away before the beast could strike. At the same time, Geralt jumped at the beast, and in one blow decapitated the monster. Messi would, in a report, tell his higher-ups that the fiend killed Drugan before the Witchers could intervene, to prevent the invaders from wiping out the village off the map in revenge. The Witchers, meanwhile, collected the beast's head and headed off to the nearby sergeant, who was chasing down looters to collect their coin. This was the same sergeant who was tasked with hanging Bald the Black after he stole a man's coin pouch. It is this sergeant we see in the cinematic trailer that was about to hang the woman. This man has taken part in the criminal behavior of the captain. He has killed peasants for fun. The accusations he made against the woman of her having killed the wounded and cannibalized them is most likely just made up, used an excuse by him and his men to have their awful taste of fun with her, and to get an excuse to justify killing her. And so, when Geralt collects his 40 florins for killing the fiend, he doesn't just decide to intervene. Over the last few days he experienced Nilfgaardian soldiers abusing peasants, killing them for no reason besides their own sick enjoyment. They looted the peasant corpses, and when a peasant would try to survive, they would find a reason to kill that person. And whilst Geralt had his revenge on the captain, the sergeant was still a figure that represented the harm done to the village, the harm done to the boy who had saved Geralt and Vesemir. When Geralt killed those soldiers and let the woman decide the fate of the sergeant, he didn't just save her, he avenged Bald. But what do you think of the backstory behind the trailer? Was Geralt justified in his actions? And do you think the woman would have killed the sergeant by kicking the bucket out from under him? Till the next video. Bye.
What are you doing?
Killing monsters.